A Notched Gun *******. A Notched Gun by Walt Coburn. Frontispiece. Walt Coburn gives us a moving little story that swings a dramatic arc from the Old West to the battlefields of France. Sam Graybull was a killer. He proved it now as he backed slowly out of the valley bank with a smoking Colt in one hand and a gunny sack full of currency in the other. The teller had made a move for the automatic below the money counter. Sam Graybull's bullet had caught the unfortunate man between the eyes. The cashier, his movements sluggish from stark fear, made a break for the side door and was shot in the back. "You'll be next," he told the young lady stenographer, "if you let out one yap." The blizzard outside muffled the sound of the shots. There was no one abroad in the little storm-swept cow town to block Sam Graybull's departure. He mounted the horse that stood humped in the snow. In 5 minutes he was lost in the storm, made thicker by the shadows of dusk. He left no telltale sign. Because the country between Milk River and the Badlands was as familiar as a child's backyard, he had no fear of capture. He tied the sack full of money to his saddle and fashioned a cigarette with thick, blunt fingers that were steady. That damn bank dude's mouth flopped open, sure comical. The rattle of Sam Graybull's laugh was blurred by the wind. No fear of pursuit marred the killer's flight. He knew the ways of sheriff's posses. They would hole up at the first ranch. That is why he had held off till the storm broke, then rode into town and stuck up the bank. A one-man job. Cunningly planned, cold-bloodedly executed. The lives he had taken were but tally notches on his gun, no more. He would boast about it when he got drunk. That other end piled up like a beef. The storm swirled and moaned. The horse drifted with the wind, headed south for the Badlands. A man could hole up there and get plenty drunk. Grub in the cabin. Wood enough for a month. Hay plenty. A keg of moonshine liquor. When a man got hard up for company, there was Pete Peralta and his wife across the river. Pete was a damn fool, but he knowed how to keep his mouth shut. Pete was all right. Just didn't have the guts to go out and take chances, that was all. Maybe if it wasn't for the missus, Pete might swap a hay fork for a gun and pick up some easy money. Pete's missus was just a young thing. Purty enough, so far as looks went. Kinda quiet. Scared, like as not, because she wa'n't used to men that had guts. But she had sense. Close-mouthed like most breed women. No damn sheriff ever git anything out of Rose Peralta. It was getting dark now. Black as a hat. Sam Graybull shrank into his buffalo coat and let his horse drift along. He rode good horses. Whenever Sam Graybull stole a horse he picked a good one. It was nearly 100 miles into the Larb Hills where they dropped in timbered ridges to meet the Missouri River. To travel all night in a blizzard was only part of a man's job. The same as killing those 2 bank dudes. And by evening tomorrow he would be at his cabin in the Badlands. That keg'll look good. Sam Graybull liked whiskey. He liked whiskey like most men like women. Liked the color of it in a glass. Liked the gurgle of the stuff as it spilled out of a jug into a tin cup. Talk about music. The burn of it when a man tilted a jug and drank it that away. God, for a drink right now. But Sam Graybull dared not drink till he got home. Tried it onked. Fell off a horse and froze both feet sleeping in the snow. Peter Peralta was horse hunting and found him. Pete's missus taken care of him. Pete wasn't much of a hand to drink. A few shots and Pete had a plenty. Just enough to make that fiddle talk good. The Red River jig and hell among the yearlings and cross-eyed mosses. Breed tunes. Sam hadn't seen Pete and his missus since early last spring. They were the only friends he claimed. A man on the dodge can't have many friends. Not when there's a big bounty on his scalp. That's the way most of the boys got theirs. Trust in somebody. Hell, them fool posses never got nowhere. Milled around. And when they followed Sam Graybull they kept bunched. Damn right they did. Sam had been in Wyoming all summer. Gamblin' some amongst the sheep shearers. Getting drunk and eating good. Nobody the wiser. Who'd look around sheep camps for a cow hand? Then he'd up and shot that Mexican shearer and had to drift back into Montana again. Too quick on the trigger. Sam's rattling laugh broke forth again. He took out his .45 and with the nail file blade of his jackknife, he made 2 fresh notches on the gun's bone handle. That was the Indian in him. Sam was about a quarter breed Sioux. He was proud of those notches. 6, all told, counting the 2 bank dudes. Not bad for a man 31. He'd tell Pete and his missus. Pete D grin kinda silly. The missus D just sit and shiver like she was took with a chill. Scared of a man that had guts. A man that was quick on the trigger. Into the black maw of the cannons and draws. Snow piling in till a man felt smothered. Black as a hat. Cold. Give $1 for a drink. Hell, give $5. 10. There was money a-plenty in that sack. Whiskey money. Topping out on a long ridge. Into a dawn that was the color of dirty slate. A wind that bit plumb into a man's innards. Didn't dust drop into a ranch or even a sheep camp for grub. There'd be no fool sign for a posse to pick up. Nobody but Pete knew of that little log cabin tucked away in a pocket of the Badlands. Pines and brush and rocks. Grub cached. Shoot a blacktail buck or a yearling. What's 2 days without grub? Make a man eat good when he got it. Whiskey and meat. Good whiskey and fat meat. Halfway home now. Safe as dog in a hole. Keep to the coulees, just under the rim of the ridges. No use skylin in a man's self. All day. horse gettin' leg weary. Stumbled into a badger hole. No harm done. Wind that shriveled a man's heart. Wind that cut the hide on a man's face. Feet like ice cakes. Like the blood was dried up. God, but that whiskey send it chargin' through a man's veins, though. Fill a jug and go across to Pete Peralta's. A man needed talk when he'd been alone so long. Pete D drag out the fiddle. Red River jig. Hell among the yearlings. Blue bottles. He pulled into his hidden cannon that afternoon. A frost-seared, fur-clad figure, red-eyed from the wind and loss of sleep. A lone figure in a vast white world. Cold, hungry, craving whiskey as a man on a parched desert craves water. With a fortune tied in a gunny sack. 2 fresh notches on the bone handle of a short-barreled Colt .45. A laugh rattling in his throat. Hay in the barn. Pete had put up that hay. The spring above the cabin was warm. It never froze. Had an iron taste to it. Sam Graybull watered and fed his gaunt horse. While no law of God or man had weight with the killer, he never violated that creed of the range that commands its men to care for a horse that has carried a man. After that he may look to his own comfort. Sam Graybull found the whiskey keg buried under the hay. He found a tin cup, and with a corner of his fur coat he wiped some of the dust from inside it. Then he squatted there by the keg and drank a cup of whiskey as if the stuff were water. He sat there for better than half an hour, drinking until the ache thawed from his bones and the hunger pains left his empty stomach. Now and then he laughed. The horse would give a start and look around, ears erect. Sam Graybull's laugh was unlike the laughter of any other man because there was no humor in it. More like a death rattle. He was steady enough on his feet when he got up and went to the cabin. As steady as a man can be when he has been frozen into the saddle for a night and a day, and when he is bundled in fur coat and chaps and 4-buckle overshoes. Fill a jug and go visit Pete Peralta. To hell with cooking. Pete's missis'll sling up some grub. His cracked, frost-blackened lips split in a grin as he saw smoke coming from the Peralta cabin, across the river among the skeleton cottonwoods. He found a jug and filled it. Then he kicked off his chaps and located a pair of snowshoes. It was as easy going afoot as it was a horseback. He slung the jug about his shoulder with a bit of rope. Then he took his carbine and fitted it into a worn buckskin sheath. Whiskey. Cartridges. All set. Then he remembered the money in the gunny sack. Whiskey's taking hold. He hid the money in the hay. Then, shuffling along on his webs, he crossed the river to Pete Peralta's place. Even before he rapped on the door, Sam Graybull sensed that something was wrong at the home of Pete Peralta. Horses in the hay corral, nibbling from the snow-capped stack. Gate down. No tracks around. Cattle, gaunt-flanked and hollow-eyed, bawling for water in the lower pasture. woodpile buried in the snow. Yet there was smoke coming from the chimney. A light inside, against the coming dusk. "Come in." Was that the voice of Pete Peralta? Sam could not see through the window. Frost had made the panes opaque. Cautiously Sam Graybull opened the door. His jug and carbine laid aside, he held his Colt in his hand, the hammer thumbed back. He kicked the door open. For a moment Sam Graybull stood there, half crouched, ready. Then he straightened. The gun hammer lowered gently and the weapon went back into its holster. For propped up on a bunk beside the stove, one leg in rude splints, sat Pete Peralta. A hollow-eyed, gaunt-cheeked, unshaven Pete Sam Graybull. His voice was like the hoarse call of a crow. But there was a prayer in its welcome, as he voiced the name of the killer. From the bedroom beyond came a broken, moaning sob. A woman's sob. A woman half delirious with pain. "Horse fell and busted my leg. About a week ago. Rose took care of me until she had to quit. She's going to have a baby, and no doctor inside 100 miles. I reckon she'll die." It took Sam Graybull some seconds to comprehend fully. A pint or more of raw whiskey on an empty stomach does not make for quiet thinking. The fact that he could retain even a semblance of his faculties proved the toughness of the killer. "Doctor, eh?" Sam Graybull pushed back his muskrat cap and ran blunt fingers through his shock of coarse black hair. "Doctor?" "Yeah, you sure need one, don't you, Pete?" "Not me, Sam." "Huh. She's out of her head, kinda. Dying, Pete. She will, I reckon. There has to be a doctor when a baby comes." Sam Graybull passed his hand across his eyes. He knew nothing of childbirth. There had never been room in his killer's heart for sympathy for man or woman. Life and the losing of life meant but little to him. He nodded, black brows knit in a thoughtful scowl. Then he stepped outside and brought in the jug. He poured 3 drinks into tin cups. "Do us all good, Pete. Then we'll kinda figure this thing out." He took one of the cups and went into the next room. "Howdy, Rose. Git outside o' this. Nothing like it to kill pain." Dimly, through eyes that were mere slits of red, he saw the white face of the girl. White as the pillow against the mass of black hair. He lifted her head and held the cup against the lips that seemed drained of blood. The pain hell, ain't it? But that drink'll do you good." He went back into the other room and handed Pete his cup. "Here's luck, Pete Downer. More where that come from?" Sam gulped down his drink without a grimace. His brain seemed to be clearing. "Where do you keep your pencil and paper, Pete?" "That shelf." "God, Sam, if we could only do something to help her." "Keep your shirt on." Sam found the writing pad and pencil. He handed them to the crippled man. Write a note to the doctor, Pete tell it scary. Sam pulled on his cap again. I'll be ready by the time you get it wrote. Where you going, Sam? Out to saddle up the best horse you got. I'm going for the doctor. I'll stop by the nearest ranch and have them send over somebody to ride herd on you. The door banged shut behind him. Sam caught Pete's best horse. When he had saddled the animal, he came back inside. Got that note finished? Yes. But you can't make it into town, Sam. The hell I can't. The storm's quit. I know the road, and I ain't so drunk but what I can ride. Lemme have that pencil. He scrawled something at the foot of the note. Then he folded the paper and put it into his pocket. Hang and rattle, Pete, till the doc gets here. He poured some of the whiskey into an empty vinegar bottle and put the corked bottle into his overcoat. Then he filled the 2 cups. Here's how, Pete. If the kid looks like you, I sure feel sorry for the critter. Sam tossed down his drink and before Pete Peralta could say a word, he was gone. 3. It was almighty hard luck, the way things had turned out for a man. When the only friend a man had was laid up with a busted leg and a sick wife. No Red River jig. No fire to set by. No Pete to talk to and tell how comical that bank dude looked when he dropped. No warm grub. Only that bottle. Better drop past the cabin and fill a jug. When a man ain't slept near it he'd oughta have a jug along to keep him alive. He stopped at his cabin long enough to fill the jug. Then he pulled out. He rode into a long X-line camp. A slit-eyed, frost-blackened man who staggered a little when he walked. The 2 cowpunchers stared hard at him. Peter Peralta's in bad shape. Broke a leg. His missus is dying. I'm riding for a doctor. One o' you boys get over there and look after things. He wolfed some meat and beans and gave them a shot out of his jug. One of the cowpunchers was getting ready for the trip to Pete's. Sam Graybull climbed back into the saddle and rode on. The storm had quit. The stars glittered like white sparks against the clear sky. The moon pushed up over the ragged ridges. Sam Graybull swayed a little as he rode, half asleep, half awake, back along the trail to town. He took some tobacco and rubbed it into his eyes to sting them open. Now and then he took a drink from the jug. Not as big a drink as he wanted. Just enough to keep a man alive. That grub made a man sleepy. A paunch full of meat always made a man sleepy. Almighty hard luck that a man couldn't get off and lay down. For 5 minutes. Yeah. 5 hours. Be froze stiff as a stick. Hadn't he froze his feet that away? Wouldn't he a died there only Pete come by? Hell, he was paying Pete back right now. A man paid his debts that away. Took guts, too. But when a man's got one friend on earth, He'd be a hell of a kind of man not to lend a hand. It took guts. Something Pete didn't have. Pete was a chicken-hearted cuss. With his wife and his fiddle. Never taken a chance. Never would get nowhere. Like a cow pasture. A muley cow. Well, no man had ever sawed Sam Graybull's horns. No fence maid ever held him. No jail, neither. Never been catched. Them as tried it had some hard luck. Have a drink. Damn that cork. A man's hands stiff and numb. There she comes. Good whiskey. Thawed a man's belly. Fightin' whiskey. Sam Graybull's laugh grated on the silence of the winter night. There'd be fightin' a-plenty if a man run into that fool posse. Sam took a beaded buckskin pouch and put into it the note to the doctor. Then he fastened the pouch around his neck outside his coat. He moved with a dogged, sluggish precision. Like a machine that needs oil. He lost one of his mittens. The right mitten. He put the other mitten on his right hand, leaving the left one bare. Sam Graybull's right hand was his gun hand. Out of the hills and onto the main road to town. Daylight now. Sleepy. Dozing in the saddle. Riding that horse like he owned him. Paying off the only debt he owed to his only friend. Yonder was Beaver Creek. Old Grey Wolf coming out of the bare willows. With a belly full of meat, heading for a safe place to sleep it off. Sam never killed a wolf. Hell, he was a wolf, hisself. A he-wolf. A killer. No rabbit, like Pete Peralta. Pete, whining over a busted leg. What'd he do if he had a .30-40 slug in him and had to gouge it out with a jackknife? Sam Graybull had done that. What's coming yonder? Horsebackers. A dozen or more. Posse men. Time for a drink. A big un this time. No nibble. Been holding off. Waiting. Here's looking at you boys. Sam Graybull's hoarse voice carried a note of triumph. Here's looking at you across gun sights. And he left the fiery stuff gurgle down his throat. A rifle bullet whined past Sam Graybull's head. He taunted the marksman with a yell of derision and, tossing aside the jug, jerked his carbine and rode at a run straight for the men. A hail of bullets met his rush. Sam Graybull's horse somersaulted, shot between the eyes. Sam tried to kick his feet from the stirrups. Too late. Horse and man crashed together. A dull pain shot through the killer's leg. That leg was pinned under the dead weight of the horse. Bullets spattered and droned. Sam Graybull emptied his carbine. Two of the posse felt the searing sting of the outlaw's bullets. Sam pulled his 6-gun, the .45 that had taken deadly toll of human life. His thumb fanned the hammer. Come and git it. Come on, you rednecks. Black lips bared from tobacco-stained teeth. Slit eyes swollen almost shut. It took guts. Something white-hot stabbed Sam Graybull's chest. He hardly felt it. Above the flat spat of rifles in the dawn, sounded the mirthless laugh of Sam Graybull. A laugh that sounded like the death rattle, tumming the hammer of an empty gun. Then the weary head dropped back into the snow. Sam Graybull, killer, was dead. The last of the whiskey gurgled out of the uncorked jug into the trail. He must have got drunk, blind drunk, and lost his way. The sheriff pulled the dead outlaw clear of the horse. Grimly triumphant, the grizzled old officer examined the body of the killer. Then he opened the pouch and found the note. As he read it, there in the sunrise of that winter morning, the warm glow of victory chilled. He turned to a man who carried a small black bag instead of a gun. "This is for you, Doc. You're wanted down on the river." He handed over the note. Then he turned to his men. "Handle Sam easy, boys. He come back a purpose, to do the only decent thing he ever done in his life. Pete Peralta's wife is about to have a baby. Sam Graybull come to fetch Doc. Handle him easy." The sheriff and Doc Steele rode along the trail together. Doc read aloud the postscript to Pete Peralta's note. "The bank money is in a sack under the hay at my cabin. What bounty there is on my hide goes to Pete Peralta. If the kid's a boy, name him Graybull. Use the bounty money to educate him. So long, Sam Graybull." And so it was that Doc Steele brought into the world a boy named Graybull Peralta. Some of the AEF will remember him as Captain Graybull Peralta, the fighting chaplain of the TH Division, made up of men from the cow country. He was killed in action in the Argonne. In the pocket of his blouse was a bullet-drilled, blood-soaked Bible. In his hand was a bone-handled six-gun with 6 notches filed on its age-yellowed handle. Major Steele, who found him, gently removed the empty gun from the dead captain's hand. He looked with memory-misted eyes at the face of the fighting parson. The bared lips, the swollen, slitted eyes. "Handle him gently, men," he told the stretcher-bearers. "Gently, as we handled his father 20 years ago. May the son of Sam Graybull find fat meat in the Shadow Hills." And they were too busy, those stretcher-bearers, to wonder at the queer words of the white-haired surgeon. Transcriber's note: this story appeared in the 15th of November, 1928 issue of Adventure magazine. ****** End of the Project Gutenberg ebook. A notched gun ***** Updated editions will replace the previous one, the old editions will be renamed. Creating the works from print editions not protected by U.S. copyright law means that no one owns a United States copyright in these works, so the Foundation, and you, can copy and distribute it in the United States without permission and without paying copyright royalties. Special rules, set forth in the general terms of use part of this license, apply to copying and distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept and trademark. Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark, and may not be used if you charge for an ebook, except by following the terms of the trademark license, including paying royalties for use of the Project Gutenberg trademark. If you do not charge anything for copies of this ebook, complying with the trademark license is very easy. You may use this ebook for nearly any purpose, such as creation of derivative works, reports, performances and research. Project Gutenberg ebooks may be modified and printed and given away. You may do practically anything in the United States with ebooks not protected by U.S. copyright law. Redistribution is subject to the trademark license, especially commercial redistribution. Start. Full license. The full Project Gutenberg license. Please read this before you distribute or use this work to protect the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting the free distribution of electronic works. By using or distributing this work, or any other work associated in any way with the phrase Project Gutenberg, you agree to comply with all the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license available with this file or online at www.gutenberg.org/license. Section 1. General Terms of Use and Redistributing Project Gutenberg Trademark Symbol Electronic Works 1.0. By reading or using any part of this Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work, you indicate that you have read, understand, agree to and accept all the terms of this license and intellectual property, trademark/copyright, agreement. If you do not agree to abide by all the terms of this agreement, you must cease using and return or destroy all copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in your possession. If you paid a fee for obtaining a copy of or access to a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work and you do not agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement, you may obtain a refund from the person or entity to whom you paid the fee as set forth in paragraph 1.e.8. 1.b. Project Gutenberg is a registered trademark. It may only be used on or associated in any way with an electronic work by people who agree to be bound by the terms of this agreement. There are a few things that you can do with most Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works even without complying with the full terms of this agreement. See paragraph 1.c below. There are a lot of things you can do with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works if you follow the terms of this agreement and help preserve free future access to Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. See paragraph 1.e below. 1.c. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the Foundation or PGLAF, owns a compilation copyright in the collection of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works. Nearly all the individual works in the collection are in the public domain in the United States. If an individual work is unprotected by copyright law in the United States and you are located in the United States, we do not claim a right to prevent you from copying, distributing, performing, displaying or creating derivative works based on the work as long as all references to Project Gutenberg are removed. Of course, we hope that you will support the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol mission of promoting free access to electronic works by freely sharing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works in compliance with the terms of this agreement for keeping the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol name associated with the work. You can easily comply with the terms of this agreement by keeping this work in the same format with its attached full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license when you share it without charge with others. 1.d. The copyright laws of the place where you are located also govern what you can do with this work. Copyright laws in most countries are in a constant state of change. If you are outside the United States, check the laws of your country in addition to the terms of this agreement before downloading, copying, displaying, performing, distributing or creating derivative works based on this work or any other Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. The Foundation makes no representations concerning the copyright status of any work in any country other than the United States. 1.e Unless you have removed all references to Project Gutenberg, 1.e.1. The following sentence, with active links to, or other immediate access to, the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license must appear prominently whenever any copy of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, any work on which the phrase Project Gutenberg appears, or with which the phrase Project Gutenberg is associated, is accessed, displayed, performed, viewed, copied or distributed. This ebook is for the use of anyone anywhere in the United States and most other parts of the world at no cost and with almost no restrictions whatsoever. You may copy it, give it away or reuse it under the terms of the Project Gutenberg license included with this ebook or online at www.gutenberg.org. If you are not located in the United States, you will have to check the laws of the country where you are located before using this ebook. 1.e.2. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is derived from texts not protected by U.S. copyright law, does not contain a notice indicating that it is posted with permission of the copyright holder, the work can be copied and distributed to anyone in the United States without paying any fees or charges. If you are redistributing or providing access to a work with the phrase Project Gutenberg associated with or appearing on the work, you must comply either with the requirements of paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 or obtain permission for the use of the work and the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark as set forth in paragraphs 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.3. If an individual Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work is posted with the permission of the copyright holder, your use and distribution must comply with both paragraphs 1.e.1 through 1.e.7 and any additional terms imposed by the copyright holder. Additional terms will be linked to the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license for all works posted with the permission of the copyright holder found at the beginning of this work. 1.e.4. Do not unlink or detach or remove the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license terms from this work, or any files containing a part of this work or any other work associated with Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. 1.e.5. Do not copy, display, perform, distribute or redistribute this electronic work, or any part of this electronic work, without prominently displaying the sentence set forth in paragraph 1.e.1 with active links or immediate access to the full terms of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. 1.e.6. You may convert to and distribute this work in any binary, compressed, marked up, non-proprietary or proprietary form, including any word processing or hypertext form. However, if you provide access to or distribute copies of a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work in a format other than plain vanilla ASCII or other format used in the official version posted on the official Project Gutenberg trademark symbol website, www.gutenberg.org, you must, at no additional cost, fee or expense to the user, provide a copy, a means of exporting a copy, or a means of obtaining a copy upon request, of the work in its original plain vanilla ASCII or other form. Any alternate format must include the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license as specified in paragraph 1.e.1. 1.e.7. Do not charge a fee for access to, viewing, displaying, performing, copying or distributing any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works unless you comply with paragraph 1.e.8 or 1.e.9. 1.e.8. You may charge a reasonable fee for copies of or providing access to or distributing Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works provided that you pay a royalty fee of 20% of the gross profits you derive from the use of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works calculated using the method you already use to calculate your applicable taxes. The fee is owed to the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark, but he has agreed to donate royalties under this paragraph to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Royalty payments must be paid within 60 days following each date on which you prepare, or are legally required to prepare, your periodic tax returns. Royalty payments should be clearly marked as such and sent to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation at the address specified in Section 4, Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. You provide a full refund of any money paid by a user who notifies you in writing, or by email, within 30 days of receipt that he does not agree to the terms of the full Project Gutenberg trademark symbol license. You must require such a user to return or destroy all copies of the works possessed in a physical medium and discontinue all use of and all access to other copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. You provide, in accordance with paragraph 1.f.3, a full refund of any money paid for a work or a replacement copy, if a defect in the electronic work is discovered and reported to you within 90 days of receipt of the work. You comply with all other terms of this agreement for free distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol works. 1.e.9. If you wish to charge a fee or distribute a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work or group of works on different terms than are set forth in this agreement, you must obtain permission in writing from the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the manager of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark. Contact the Foundation as set forth in Section 3 below. 1.f1.f.1 Project Gutenberg volunteers and employees expend considerable effort to identify, do copyright research on, transcribe and proofread works not protected by U.S. copyright law in creating the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection. Despite these efforts, Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, and the medium on which they may be stored, may contain defects such as, but not limited to, incomplete, inaccurate or corrupt data, transcription errors, a copyright or other intellectual property infringement, a defective or damaged disk or other medium, a computer virus, or computer codes that damage or cannot be read by your equipment. 1.f.2 Limited warranty, disclaimer of damages, except for the right of replacement or refund described in paragraph 1.f.3, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, the owner of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol trademark, and any other party distributing a Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic work under this agreement, disclaim all liability to you for damages, costs and expenses, including legal fees. You agree that you have no remedies for negligence, strict liability, breach of warranty or breach of contract except those provided in paragraph 1.f.3. You agree that the Foundation, the trademark owner, and any distributor under this agreement will not be liable to you for actual, direct, indirect, consequential, punitive or incidental damages even if you give notice of the possibility of such damage. 1.f.3 Limited right of replacement or refund. If you discover a defect in this electronic work within 90 days of receiving it, you can receive a refund of the money, if any, you paid for it by sending a written explanation to the person you received the work from. If you received the work on a physical medium, you must return the medium with your written explanation. The person or entity that provided you with the defective work may elect to provide a replacement copy in lieu of a refund. If you received the work electronically, the person or entity providing it to you may choose to give you a second opportunity to receive the work electronically in lieu of a refund. If the second copy is also defective, you may demand a refund in writing without further opportunities to fix the problem. 1.f.4 Except for the limited right of replacement or refund set forth in paragraph 1.f.3, this work is provided to you as is, with no other warranties of any kind, express or implied, including but not limited to warranties of merchantability or fitness for any purpose. 1.f.5 Some states do not allow disclaimers of certain implied warranties or the exclusion or limitation of certain types of damages. If any disclaimer or limitation set forth in this agreement violates the law of the state applicable to this agreement, the agreement shall be interpreted to make the maximum disclaimer or limitation permitted by the applicable state law. The invalidity or unenforceability of any provision of this agreement shall not void the remaining provisions. 1.f.6 Indemnity. You agree to indemnify and hold the foundation, the trademark owner, any agent or employee of the foundation, anyone providing copies of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works in accordance with this agreement, and any volunteers associated with the production, promotion and distribution of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol electronic works, harmless from all liability, costs and expenses, including legal fees, that arise directly or indirectly from any of the following which you do or cause to occur. A. Distribution of this or any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work. B. Alteration, modification, or additions or deletions to any Project Gutenberg trademark symbol work, and C. Any defect you cause. Section 2. Information about the mission of Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol is synonymous with the free distribution of electronic works in formats readable by the widest variety of computers, including obsolete, old, middle-aged and new computers. It exists because of the efforts of hundreds of volunteers and donations from people in all walks of life. Volunteers and financial support to provide volunteers with the assistance they need are critical to reaching Project Gutenberg trademark symbol's goals and ensuring that the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol collection will remain freely available for generations to come. In 2001, the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation was created to provide a secure and permanent future for Project Gutenberg trademark symbol and future generations. To learn more about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation and how your efforts and donations can help, see sections 3 and 4 and the Foundation information page at www.gutenberg.org. Section 3. Information about the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. The Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation is a non-profit 501(c)(3) educational corporation organized under the laws of the state of Mississippi and granted tax-exempt status by the Internal Revenue Service. The Foundation's IN or Federal Tax Identification Number is 64-6221541. Contributions to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation are tax-deductible to the full extent permitted by U.S. federal laws and your state's laws. The Foundation's business office is located at 809 North 1500 West, Salt Lake City, UT 84116. 801-596-1887. Email contact links and up-to-date contact information can be found at the Foundation's website and official page at www.gutenberg.org/contact section 4. Information about donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol depends upon and cannot survive without widespread public support and donations to carry out its mission of increasing the number of public domain and licensed works that can be freely distributed in machine-readable form accessible by the widest array of equipment, including outdated equipment. Many small donations, $1 to $5,000, are particularly important to maintaining tax-exempt status with the IRS. The Foundation is committed to complying with the laws regulating charities and charitable donations in all 50 states of the United States. Compliance requirements are not uniform and it takes a considerable effort, much paperwork and many fees to meet and keep up with these requirements. We do not solicit donations in locations where we have not received written confirmation of compliance. To send donations or determine the status of compliance for any particular state, visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. While we cannot and do not solicit contributions from states where we have not met the solicitation requirements, we know of no prohibition against accepting unsolicited donations from donors in such states who approach us with offers to donate. International donations are gratefully accepted, but we cannot make any statements concerning tax treatment of donations received from outside the United States. U.S. laws alone swamp our small staff. Please check the Project Gutenberg web pages for current donation methods and addresses. Donations are accepted in a number of other ways, including checks, online payments and credit card donations. To donate, please visit www.gutenberg.org/donate. Section 5. General information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol. Electronic Works. Professor Michael S. Hart was the originator of the Project Gutenberg trademark symbol concept of a library of electronic works that could be freely shared with anyone. For 40 years, he produced and distributed Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks with only a loose network of volunteer support. Project Gutenberg trademark symbol ebooks are often created from several printed editions, all of which are confirmed as not protected by copyright in the US unless a copyright notice is included. Thus, we do not necessarily keep ebooks in compliance with any particular paper edition. Most people start at our website, which has the main PG search facility, www.gutenberg.org. This website includes information about Project Gutenberg trademark symbol, including how to make donations to the Project Gutenberg Literary Archive Foundation, how to help produce our new ebooks, and how to subscribe to our email newsletter to hear about new ebooks.